Hello and good evening. Welcome to our Sweet Life Cooking demonstration for August 2022. My name is Elizabeth Vitale. I'm a diabetes care and education specialist and registered dietitian nutritionist here at Hoag Marion Dick Allen Diabetes Center. And I want to introduce our executive chef, Chef Davis Cruz.
Thank you.
We are going to be doing a meal tonight. Our theme tonight is Dinner for the Soul, Summertime Harvest at the Table. So we're going to showcase shrimp scampi with zucchini noodle, as well as a watermelon lime slushie.
Correct. It seems to be very simple, but yet you have to have techniques, correct? So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about proper utilization of the shrimp and how to peel them or not peel them. It's up to you, depending on how much work you want to do at the end of the meal. So my name is Davis Cruz. I'm the executive chef here at Hoag Hospital, Newport Beach. I do help with the teaching and cooking classes here at the Mary Dick Allen Diabetes Center. And I'm a lifelong diabetic, so I've been diabetic for about 26 years now. Type 1, I use an insulin pump, and maintain my weight, exercise, so it can be done. I always preach, it can be done, correct? But it's not easy. I understand completely, 100%, that it's very difficult, but we have to have a mindful eating. So everything that goes in our mouth has a adverse effect in our body, either good or bad. There is no in between. So everything that you are consuming for a purpose or a reason, correct? So for us diabetics, we have to think about those, how many carbs, how many, what protein we're gonna use, what type of snacks are we having, correct? So all that affects our blood sugar, and in return, the longer with bad sugar levels, your high, it's called A1C, correct? Then you have those side effects, correct? So you have vision loss, you got kidney, protein in your kidneys, stuff like that, correct?
Yes.
So anyway, so let's cook, correct?
Right.
Well,
so
that's why we're here, correct?
That's why
Not
we're
to
here.
talk about diabetes that much, but just to actually cook. So this recipe actually have pasta, correct? We talked about it, and we said, no, let's take the pasta away. We don't need the carbs. We can make pasta with the zucchini, correct?
Right, so definitely a very low carb option. A regular plate of pasta you might order at a restaurant may have 125 grams a plate of carbohydrate.
Correct.
And this dish here is close to 20 per plate. So our recipe tonight is going to make 4 cups and each serving about 20 grams of carbs.
Correct. And when the doctors say eat your colors, correct? So we got the zucchini, which is green. We got the tomatoes, nice and red. Actually, if you want to mix it up and make it interesting, you have your yellow squash, correct?
Very nice.
Now, the reason on the recipe doesn't call that we chose the zucchini, because normally zucchini is nice and straight. This one is kind of when you do the spiral, it's not going to come out as good as long as you have the mandolin. So we got 2 spiral machines and a mandolin, correct? I heavily use a mandolin for almost everything because it's quicker. I get very consistency on the width. The spiral machine they're cool, they're great to have. I don't use them much because it's not as fast, correct? And in my neck of the woods, working at Newport, time is money. So we have to, we have to keep that productivity nice and level and fast. So let me give you all 3 scenarios. So this one is more it has only 1 blade and it has only 1 weight or spiral, correct? So let me give it a shot.
Get right into it.
So
yeah.
Let me move this around.
So you can purchase these spiralizers at some of the cooking shops. I don't want to promote any types, but Soar, Salt Table.
Correct.
Yeah. Yeah. So you have to look around a little bit, but they should be in more of the higher end cooking shops.
Correct.
What would you say?
More of the higher end. So here we go with that.
So nice fine noodle. You can see that.
This
it's
is
gonna-
like your linguine, right?
Linguine, here we go.
Okay. I think this one makes a spaghetti. And with the mandolin, I can do either or.
The one I have at home, you can change the blades so you can get a different width.
Correct. Actually, this baby here comes, we feel like a commercial, aren't we?
This is a nutrition class, but we want to let you know how to do it.
You see the thickness is because all the different blades are there, so you
Oh,
can
nice.
play
So
around
it
with
stores it underneath.
So
That's very helpful.
let's put this one right here. Let's let it slide. So let's go to this one. This one has a suction cup. So let's see.
So that way it doesn't move around on your counter, right?
Exactly.
A little
this one is more
thicker,
like
yeah.
a spaghetti, correct?
Right.
I like making messes. Don't worry about it. Look at that. Okay. Isn't that cool? Look at that. Oh, I like this one. Okay.
So zucchini also has a lot of fiber. So we have about 8 grams of fiber per cup. 62 calories, so definitely low in calories, low in carbs. Little bit of protein, a few grams here or there. It also has lutein and zeaxanthin, which are antioxidants. And water-soluble fiber pectin is the fiber that it has. It's high in vitamin C and vitamin K.
Yeah. Well, let's use the mandolin now, correct? So a mandolin has adjustments here. That's this little to make it thick or thinner. It has different blades that comes in this side, right here on the side, and you can take the blade out. So the blade comes, this is to make kind of the linguine type. And then I got the bigger one to make a fettuccine type.
Okay.
And you can use all the vegetables too. You can use carrots. You can use a jicama. Any hard
very nice.
vegetable, you can just do it this way. Look at that. Let's see if you guys can see it from.
Yeah.
So I'm going to show you a trick. The trick is the skin is your binding. The skin doesn't break as fast.
Okay.
And if I do strands only with the white, without the skin, then the tendency of getting mushy is there, right? So if I use the skin,
we're going to have a little more structure to the noodle when you keep the skin on.
correct.
Yeah.
Now I know what you guys are thinking out there. You're saying, but what are you going to do with the middle of that now that you are using all the skins, correct? So the middle, you can actually cut it with a knife and keep it separately so you can add it separate, correct?
Okay.
So the rule of thumb when you're using the knife and using a round product is make it level so it doesn't move. As long as it doesn't move, you're safe, correct? Then you can cut. So you see your knuckles, that's your guide, and then you cut evenly, correct? So you got a stretch there. So those of you that don't have any of this equipment, you have your 2 hands and a knife, and you good to go. Okay.
So look at that. You don't need any fancy equipment.
Not at
Now,
all.
Chef Cruz, can we also use a potato peeler?
Absolutely. You can use a potato peeler.
So you've got plenty of options, probably right in your own kitchen to make
Correct.
this dish.
So look at these strands.
Oh, that's
Little
pretty
bit
nice.
bigger,
Yeah, a
but
little hardier.
a little hardier, correct?
Some people may prefer it a little hardier,
Mm-hmm.
a little more
So
texture.
just gonna put them right here.
3 different kinds of pasta. 4 different
Pretty
types of
simple.
pasta we have.
And so make sure you cut the end. Doesn't cook as well. Now that's all you need to cut, okay? Any more than that, you're wasting the product,
Okay.
okay? Then I won't hire you in my kitchen at all. You cut, I walk around and you see big chunks, that's laziness, right? Ah. Okay, just for color, that's all. That's all. Zucchini, yellow squash. It's not on the recipe, but just for colors. Okay. So right now, what we're doing is actually, it's called a French term. It's called the mise en place. It's getting all your ingredients together before you even start cooking. Because once you start cooking the shrimp, time is the essence.
Right.
So if you don't cook it accordingly, then you overcook the shrimp. Game over, correct? So why even cook it? Why even go there, correct? So let's talk about the shrimp and the size of the pan. So I have 3 pan sizes here, correct? So you say, this one, if I'm gonna cook for about 12 people, then it makes sense, correct? This one here, I'm gonna cook for about 4 people, so it makes sense because I need some of that liquid from the shrimp. I don't want it to evaporate. If the pan is too big, it will evaporate, correct?
Good point, yeah.
Correct. So since I have pans and toys, we're gonna do a 2-step. If I make the sauce here with the shrimp and I add the pasta, the zucchini noodles, then it's too big, correct? So I'm gonna use 2 pans.
Okay.
So I'm gonna have zucchini noodles here and the sauce here. And
Gotcha.
the zucchini noodles, I like them a little crispier and flavor to it, a little salt and pepper.
Yeah.
So instead of having the salt and pepper on the shrimp, I'm gonna have it on the zucchini noodles.
Okay. So we're
Toss
adding
them with the olive oil, and then mix them
nice.
both, done, okay? So
Okay.
that's the route we're heading.
So we're using the smaller pan to preserve the body of the sauce, so we're not evaporating it. Very
Correct.
good. I didn't really think about that, so thank you,
Correct.
Chef, for that
So
point.
surface is the key when you're cooking shrimp or for less amount of people. That's why Martha Stewart on recipes, and you get all these books. Most books, most recipes are made, even though I say 6, 8, 10, 12, look at, size of the pan really matters. And the sad thing is that it's not this close. They don't say use a 6-inch pan, use a 12-inch pan. That should be part of the recipe, right? Because without that,
You're going to lose your sauce.
you're gonna lose your sauce, correct? So then you add the zucchini, and then you try to cook the zucchini, and what you're doing is overcooking it, and it gets really mushy and really not. All right. So I'm gonna use our paz olivo, olive oil,
Very nice. And that's
Yeah.
extra virgin?
extra virgin olive oil. It's 6 hours pressed after harvest.
Wow.
So it's
Pure
fantastic.
the pure. Very nice.
So we just want to coat the, do I have, oh yeah. Okay. Medium heat. I'm gonna have the onions to sweat them. I think I need to lower temperature. Okay. So when you follow on the recipe, oh, it smells good, huh? So now I'm gonna add the garlic and the red crushed peppers. That's it. Lower the temperature. I wanted that initial sizzling, lower the temperature, and now let the garlic cook with the red crushed pepper, and just let it cook. Let it get really. We don't need to stir fry it because we have a delicate shrimp coming into the pan, so the garlic does not need to be brown. Only the onions needed to be sweat. And I added red crushed pepper heat. Without heat, you got no. Okay. All right, so we're gonna leave the onions to sweat. You see that the circumference of the bottom of the pan is allowing the onions to stay a little cluster, so it doesn't allow it to dry and burn. Okay. So now I'm cooking the garlic with it. Okay, let's talk about the shrimp.
I think it was
the aroma. I got
the
you.
onions. They
You
make
got
you
all
tear,
the
they make
aroma.
you-
You got all
Excuse
the
me.
aroma. So on the shrimp, I brought this little number so you guys can realize that what this means on the package is that it's between 16 and 20 shrimp per pound. That's all it means. So when you hear U10, that means that is 10 shrimps per pound. 1620, that's 16 to 20 shrimp per pound, and so on and so forth. 20, 23, so then it's 20 to 23 shrimps per pound. I'm sorry, Lisa, I got you. Too much, the heat.
Oh,
Yeah.
no. It's just sometimes the aromatics, right?
Yeah. So the shelf of the shrimp, you can preserve it, cook it later, use it for broth later on if you want to use another pot and boil them. But you just boil them for about a minute, just one boil, and lower the temperature. So I already took the skin off. So let me do it one more time. So you pinch the legs, and then take it all the way out, clean it out, and you just leave that little tail, or take the tail off, whichever. So for this, let's take the tail off on this one, just for this. And you see how it remains. So every part here is edible, okay? Now let's clean up the pupu.
Okay.
So cut right on top. And then this one, it will show a little vein that's where they're disposing of their this one ate very good. It was in a diet, very clean. Some shrimps are, oh my God, what happened here? So I'm gonna throw that there. Let's see if I can find one that is dirtier. Let's see. Very little vein or none at all.
They were
Very
hungry.
little.
They didn't get their last meal.
This one they didn't eat much. See if I find one. So like I said, the shells, you can use them later on or beforehand and saute them with a little olive oil and then a little bit of water and use that as a base for the sauce. But in this case, we're not gonna go there. It would be like too many pans, and so it's so good. I'm gonna remove the tail so it stays.
Okay. So shrimp can be a nice addition, a low calorie, of course low carb, protein addition. It does have some dietary cholesterol. So a lot of people are afraid to eat shrimp because of the cholesterol. So we're looking to consume on average less than 300 milligrams of cholesterol a day. However, most studies find that it is the saturated fat that drives the blood cholesterol up rather than the cholesterol in the food. So shrimp, for most people, is still on the healthy and safe list. Okay? There's a small percentage of the population that does have some issues with clearing with the way the cholesterol is broken down in the body. But the majority can process dietary cholesterol. And again, it's the saturated fat that most studies show increases the cholesterol levels in your blood when you do your lab work.
Correct. And the nutritionals behind the shrimp as a whole is exceptional. It's really well. And at the end of the day, it's a balanced meal throughout the week. Correct?
Yeah.
So you don't eat shrimp every day. Either one, you go broke and your cholesterol goes off the roof. But it's a matter of implementing all these items into your diet and then having a nice, beautiful meal, correct? That
Right.
you have some good The shrimp has X amount of protein that helps, so to the immune system, and so it's a lot of benefits to the shrimp. Just don't be afraid. You want to incorporate lobster, you can incorporate lobster.
And
So this one is a dirty one. So here you go. I call it dirty one. Here we go. So it goes. Normally the vein goes all the way to the end, and if you have a little bit of water, that's all it takes to clean them out. Okay, that's about it with the shrimps. Okay.
we're also getting some zinc and iron out of the shrimp. We're getting a little bit trace amounts of copper. So you're getting some nice minerals there, selenium, omega-3 fatty acids, and the antioxidant extanthophth. I can never say it right. Astaxanthin, that's what I wanted to say. So very nice antioxidant we're getting with the shrimp.
Okay, so I'm gonna continue my mise en place. So we're gonna cut the tomatoes in half. So I got my plate. Already pre-wash them. Okay, put the plate on top.
I love this tomato cutting method. So quick, right?
Done. Cut, ready to go. Okay. I got my lemon to have nice juicy.
That's a step I usually miss, but I like that. Rolling the lemon.
Yes.
Very nice.
That's what you.
I do it with my
And then-
kumquats, but I don't think to do it with the lemon. So
Okay, and then you just put the spiral in. Okay, I'll leave it here for. Now we have. Remember those little bottles in the supermarket? They sell it the same way.
Yeah.
There you go. I just made
oh,
you
look
one.
at that. No, I haven't
Okay.
used that.
And I'm gonna chop the Italian parsley. And I'm gonna I just gonna rough chop it because I don't need to. It's gonna cook, so it's gonna wilt. So I want to see it in my plate as a decoration. And then the stem is gonna go halfway, but I'm just gonna chop it really thin, because guess where most of the nutrients and the flavor is? On the stem. So we want to use some of the stem, not all, to incorporate it into our recipe. Okay. So, okay. So the onions, see that the onions are getting translucent? And the garlic is cooking. It's getting hot, but not browning, because
Okay.
we don't want it brown. Okay. And since the red crushed pepper is dry, now it's absorbing some of the liquid from the onion and the garlic, and now it's just creating the heat.
Okay.
So now I'm going to turn the heat up a little bit more and add the shrimps.
Okay.
I'm just going to. How many shrimps we have in the recipe? 4, 6? 2, 4, 6.
I think we have on the recipe that we analyzed for the audience, I believe we used a pound.
Thank you.
I hear the sizzle.
You hear the sizzle? It's coming. It's happening. So now, on the recipe says, how do you know it's cooked? Start turning pink, correct? So it will start turning pink in one side, then you turn it, pink in the other side, and as the moisture of the shrimp is evaporating and cooking with the onions, that helps them cook. See
Oh, look at that. That's quick, yeah.
how quick that is? So
So a nice light summer meal. We're utilizing the summer squashes, the zucchini, the yellow squash, fresh tomatoes here in August. I think wherever you are on the in the country, we all have an abundance of tomatoes right now. Tomatoes we know have an antioxidant called lycopene. And there's been a lot of studies with lycopene for prostate health, but also for the health for cancer prevention. Lots of studies here on the tomatoes, and it can also help lower your LDL and blood pressure. The tomatoes also have flavonoids, okay? And again, that lutein and zeaxanthin, which are antioxidants very well known for eye health.
Right. So on this recipe, you can go many different ways. For example, if you want to marinate the shrimp ahead of time, olive oil, garlic, then you don't have to add the garlic the same way we add it. So it's many different ways you can do it. Let's say you want to marinate the shrimp a day ahead. So do that prep a day ahead. Marinate it with olive oil and garlic and keep it in the refrigerator. And then when it's time to cook, you just saute the onions, then add the shrimp with the garlic, and you have a same result.
Okay.
Okay. So now.
Do you prefer to marinate it overnight, or think it gets more flavor? Or
shrimps normally, if you buy it fresh, it's because you're going to use it the same day. That's kind of a rule of thumb.
Okay.
If it is frozen, then you defrost it and use it the next day. The longer they stay in the refrigerator, it dries out too quickly, and it doesn't stay as juicy as you might see, or you might think. So normally shrimps is defrost it, use it, and done. Correct. Even if you try to reheat it, it just becomes very hard and very rubbery. So you don't want any of that. Okay, so now that the pink is almost cooked, so now we're going to add the lemon juice.
now you don't have to worry about the seeds with that device. Look at that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now what we're missing is, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this pan and bring my larger pan so I can cook all my noodles.
Okay.
Or my zucchini noodles, I say. So for this, I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil, just to coat the bottom of the pan. I did not add any salt and pepper, or the tomatoes, or the parsley to the shrimp. I'm just making that little bit of change. So I'm going to flavor the zucchini. Because I know at home, we're used to, everything has to have a flavor. If we eat, even though we're going to toss the zucchini noodles with the shrimp, if you don't give it a little flavor ahead of time, then it won't taste it. You will have that shrimp, and then there's a zucchini noodles, correct? So let's fix that problem. This is how it's done, correct? I did not add any salt to the shrimp. No need.
Okay.
Doesn't need it. Just like pasta, right? Look at that. And no liquid, okay? So I'm not actually boiling the zucchini. I'm actually doing a little saute, trying to keep the temperature down so we don't smoke the room. But by having the flat surface being this big, it doesn't allow moisture to become water to start boiling the product. Okay, that's if I take the same amount and put them in the pan, it just becomes a pot of water because it's a lot of heat going through the side, but it's too much
Gotcha.
of the zucchini no see still now. Okay. Now another trick: cook the shrimps, put it in a bowl, add the zucchini noodles, the tomato, and the parsley. Wrap it, put a parchment paper, let it sweat for about 5-6 minutes, and eat it. Done.
Okay.
So that's another alternative. Okay?
So you're omitting the saute the zucchini step. You just
Correct.
let it kind of wilt together with the heat of the shrimp.
Correct.
Okay.
So here are my shrimps. I'm gonna add them now.
Look how quick this recipe is too, right?
Okay. Last step, tomatoes. My parsley. Turn. Oh yeah. Now, let's talk about the culprit here, Parmesan cheese.
Okay.
How much is too much? How much is too much Parmesan cheese?
So usually a serving of cheese is about an ounce, right? And we know it also carries a lot of sodium with it too, and some saturated fat. But if you keep the portion sizes reasonable, it should fit into a healthy diet.
Correct. So now I have a little secret. For those of you with the pasolivo, we have the pasolivo olive oil with lemon.
Oh, how
Okay.
nice. Okay.
So as a finishing touch, ooh my God. So trust me, I'm not changing the recipe. You got lemon juice, you got a little olive oil with lemon. And this one is already infused with lemon, so it's just that much delicious. So you can do it either on the pan or let's do it on a serving plate. Now this could be my serving. How many people we serving?
Yeah.
4, correct? Out of this one.
So we know our extra virgin olive oil has a higher concentration of the
Look at that. Little Parmesan.
yes.
And
Monounsaturated fatty acids. I had a blank there. Excuse me. So it's cardioprotective, actually. So again, we don't want to have oils excessive in our diet, but if you're going to choose oils, we want to choose healthy oils. The monounsaturated is a nice way to get those healthy oils in. And that is looking quite beautiful there, isn't it? The colors, we've got the summer harvest in there.
doesn't get any better than that. Does not get any better. Look at that. Correct?
Beautiful, absolutely.
And just put maybe a teaspoon of Parmesan cheese.
Okay.
And that's all you need. Okay? But follow a recipe. How much the recipe says? Says about
Recipe says 4 zucchinis, and it should serve about 4 people.
correct.
About a cup each. That was the estimate on the.
And I use 1. Can you imagine 4 zucchinis? Correct. So it'd be a lot more.
Yeah.
So try the zucchini. Mandolin, it works best.
Okay.
You can use your knives. It's all good. If you like to play, then might as well buy the toy, correct? So this one has see. Different compartments. Now, please do not ask me where we bought it. I just found them at my kitchen. So I think the chef prior to me was into toys also, and he left them behind. So I have no idea. So Google it. It's made by who? Well, I don't want to break this.
This one's nice that it stores the blades underneath, because mine are separate, and sometimes, you know, it's hard to find things. And you get a lot of different textures that you can use with the different blades.
Correct. And I guess it goes, see how easy that goes? And then the next one. And you can actually, which way we?
And just like any blade, you want to be careful when you're washing, right? Use a brush. Don't want to just pick it up with, you know, be careful where you're touching it and moving it around, and that's why you store them safely sealed somewhere.
There we go. So now don't ask me to put it back together. Sorry. Okay.
And we utilize some fresh herbs. We put some parsley in there. Parsley is an herb you can grow pretty easily in a pot. If you have a patio, you live in an apartment, these are herbs that grow that don't need a lot of care. And you can add a lot of minerals, vitamin K, and flavor to the meal with some parsley.
Parsley, chives, mint, correct? So our next recipe will be talking about mint.
Yep.
And mint grows, my God, I think it's too wild,
Can
correct?
take
So
over, right?
they do take over. So last piece is the mandolin. I want to talk about the mandolin. This it has different blades and also comes with different blades. So for different size cuts that you're gonna have. So this is very simple. Slide it. Done. And then you can julienne.
Yeah, and there's the flat one too, where you can just make regular cuts like you normally would with a knife. It's
Correct.
faster, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
But please, using the mandolin, use that handle or use a safety glove.
Ah,
Okay.
look what's under there.
I
Okay.
don't leave home without it. No.
Okay.
No. I see a lot of chefs that still use a regular knife. I don't know if you have watched some of the shows, correct? And you see Band-Aids and this and that. Because
yeah.
normally when you're on TV, human nature, you get nervous, correct? So might as well put your safety glove, use a safety glove, and just call it a day. Why show a Band-Aid in your knuckles, you know? Anyway.
Okay.
So that's just me. And not having gloves either is like, you know, I'm in that situation that we should be in that situation where people demonstrating food should wear gloves. The rule of thumb is if you can pick them up and eat it, use gloves. That's it. If you're gonna cook it, all right, that's cool because you're gonna implement heat, and heat over 140 degrees will kill most of the bacteria. So
think about that when we're sharing food at picnics and things like that in the summer, right? We want to be mindful of serving food to others, you know, that we're being hygienic in the kitchen, right?
Correct. Fruit salad, potato salad. People love potato salad and macaroni salad, everything with mayo outside. Oh, no.
Outside in the heat, you have several hours, right? We have to be careful with that.
Yeah. So how many of you know how the mayonnaise is made? Egg yolks, and olive oil.
Okay.
That's it. But it's raw egg yolks
Oh.
that is being whipped.
Oh,
and
I
that's
see.
mayonnaise with a little bit of lemon juice. So the acidity of the lemon juice is what helps incorporate and create the fluffiness, correct? But it's raw eggs. That's the base of the mayonnaise. So you don't want to go there. Okay. Drink time? I think it's drink time.
All
Correct?
right. So we're going to move on to our summertime drink, which is a watermelon slushie.
So watermelon slushie. So I took 2 watermelons and I freeze them, and then 2 watermelons unfreeze. I want to show the difference, and then we're going to combine them for it.
Okay.
But I'm going to show you the difference between what it does, and or if I'm able to blend the frozen one because I don't have that much, correct? But we'll see. Lime juice, white lime and not lemon because of the acidity level. So we want a little bit more the acidity on the lime than we want on the lemon. The lemon is a little bit sweeter. We have the sweet. So we want to break that watermelon down. Okay. So again, we have the juice of 2 limes. So I'm just going to roll them to break some of the connective tissues that we have, those membranes inside. Create that juice. Then back to the handy dandy. Okay. So this one I'm going to do the side. Let's see. Okay, we're going to add. Okay, close, roll it. Right, back again. Squeeze. Squeeze. Squeeze.
So this smoothie is going to be very high in vitamin C from both the watermelon and the limes in there.
Mm-hmm.
And when we see watermelon, we want to think hydration. It's very hydrating for us.
No, this watermelon has that attribute that helps if you're taking any medication, kind of to drive it. That's what I read.
Help
That's
absorb
useless
it.
information that I get once in a while, but it kind of works out.
We got lots of electrolytes in there.
Correct.
About 1.25 cups is about 1 serving of carb, 15 grams. So that's how when we look at our carb counting lists, what is 1 serving? We know 1 serving is 15 grams. So for watermelon, it's about 1.5 cups. Sometimes we don't think of watermelon in cups, we think of big slices.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, a nice slice or so, or if you cut it like Chef did, 1.5 cups is around 15 grams on the carbs.
Yeah, so let's add it.
Now watermelon breaks down very fast in the digestion. So you might see sugar come up, but it will also come down pretty quick too. So for that reason too, sometimes it's better to have before you eat so it doesn't have to wait or possibly ferment. If you had a meal with lots of meat, meat takes a while to break down in the digestion. If you put the melon on top, for those of you with sensitive digestion, you might get a little bloating or gas, but if you don't have sensitive digestion, you probably just be just fine. You'll absorb it normally. So.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know that. Okay, let's see.
So, Chef, is this the frozen one or the unfrozen?
This is the unfrozen one.
Okay.
Now we add the mint. Okay.
Lots of flavor here. We've got sour, we've got sweet, and then this mint is giving it, how would you categorize the flavor there? An aromatic element.
Okay. So this is slush numero uno. Wow, recipe to perfection, is it?
It looks beautiful. Yes.
Almost there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's do the frozen one before you
And we didn't
defrost
add
it.
any water to that, did we? Just
no
yeah.
water, nothing. So let's do this one. Frozen. Another 2 limes.
So mint, you know, the essential oil of mint has been used in aromatherapy to help with memory, retention, Alzheimer's. We don't know for sure if that's going to equate if we ingest it, so we don't know that. More studies are needed there. Animal studies do show it is helpful with cancer. Again, we don't know in humans if that's beneficial there. But it does have a history of aiding digestion, so you may have heard that a lot. If you have upset stomach, a little peppermint tea can help with the digestion. So.
This lime has a lot of juice. Wow. Okay, next.
So with the watermelon, we're also getting beta carotene. And we think of carrots with beta carotene. The watermelon has a lot of beta carotene as well. Lots of vitamin C, 25% of your daily value with a watermelon. Vitamin A, vitamin B6, potassium, all very helpful for general health. And like the tomato, it also has lycopene. We talked about lycopene earlier.
Mm-hmm. Okay, ready for noise?
We're ready.
Let's do that. Okay. Let's add mint.
So completely different
Mint a little bit
consistency,
more.
right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Frozen versus unfrozen. Okay, so let's see if I can show a little demonstration here. Okay. Now, that's a slushie, like advertised in our recipe.
Uh-huh.
So how many of you would say, "Oh, that is slush"? Yes, it did, when you freeze the watermelon. Yeah.
So you notice we cubed the watermelon before freezing it. That way it's easier to blend. This is a high-powered blender. Some of you may not have those really great blenders. I know my blender at home isn't that good, so I tend to chop a lot of my frozen fruits up prior to blending them. It's just easier. So small cubes, like the size of an ice cube.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Correct. So the question is, how do I know if the watermelon is ripe when I go to the supermarket? Okay, what is it that I'm looking for in the watermelon? Does it have to be perfectly green? Does it have to be, what does it have to be? So watermelon takes a little while to ripe, and they are on the ground, right? So normally if it's yellow to green, then it's ripe. That means that it could be all green and be ripe, but what that means is that the skin is this thick, so you have very little watermelon. So when I go to the supermarket, I look for that yellow to green, because I know the skin is very thinner, so I get more watermelon for the price. So when I go pay per pound, so I know I'm getting more watermelon, the skin, that I'm going to throw it away.
Right. Okay. So, I didn't know that.
So that's the rule of thumb with the watermelon, how to pick them. Okay. So with that said, we kind of 10 minutes ahead, correct? So if anybody has any questions, but here's a drink. And this dish, now in summer, will satisfy your soul, guarantee, correct?
Definitely.
It's nice and heavy but light, because we didn't have the pasta.
No.
So we're not going to sit down in the couch and go, oh,
I need a nap.
I need a nap, correct?
Yeah.
This one is like, okay, all right. Let's jump in the pool. Let's run around with the grandkids. Let's do things, correct? Yeah. And that's the goal. The goal is to be able to eat as healthy as possible. And I know it's not that easy. I know we like our snacks, our pistachios. Well, pistachios are good. But we like to indulge in things that are not healthy for us, because we grew up with non so healthy items. And when when companies start, creating your potato chips or everything that is in a bag is really easy to eat and lounge and eat, and that creates a different, health issues that we have. So my rule of thumb is this. This is what I live by. If I eat 3 times a day, which diabetics should be eat smaller meals 5 times a day. But let's say we're eating 3 times a day. 7 days a week, that's 21 meals, okay? Out of those 21 meals, how many meals you want them to be the bad ones? The hot dog. Going to Orange County Fair and eating that, I don't know, the corn dog, correct?
It happens sometimes.
Correct? It
Special
happens.
occasion, once
It's
a year,
happened.
right?
So don't restrict yourself, but make sure it's that one time. It's not every meal. And actually your body tells you that, hey, I took care of that, it's all good, okay? We didn't feel any side effect, we didn't feel bloated, it was like we wake up the next morning, it's like, aha. That does not mean or gives you the green light to continue, because now you're gonna damage your flora in your stomach, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you damage all that flora that is working to your advantage to make sure that you're healthy and your skin is healthy and everything is healthy with you. So don't ruin the moment, basically, right? So yeah, have your grandkids go to the Orange County Fair and then have that corn dog, but that's it. Next day, back to routine and all good. So I live by that. This is what I use, and I've been in my same size pants for 25 years. So sometimes I wonder if my black pants are how old are they? Because I don't go up or down in weight. It's always the same. So
very good.
So I want to thank you.
Yes, so very good points there, Chef. We want to enjoy summer. We want to have fun. We want to celebrate, but again, not every night, right? And yeah, there might be an event every weekend or something, and maybe one time we do have a little cake, and another time we share it with our child. We have a bite of theirs or something. So when we can keep that ratio in balance, and most of our meals being healthy and productive for ourselves, we're in good shape. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So again, sometimes we deprive and we don't feel good. We feel like we're missing out, and then it creates emotional problems, and it can backfire on us, right? So we want to live in balance, right?
Exactly. And with good health, with good balanced core, you sleep better. Okay, I have no issue sleeping at all. I put my head on the pillow and done. Okay, so it helps you. Everything becomes in a balance. So if you drink milk, cut it. No need to milk anymore. Correct? No need to drink milk. Oh, but I drink the 2% of the fat free. No, change it. Okay, and changes are not easy. So almond milk, to acquire that flavor, give yourself 4 to 6 weeks. Push yourself to have that brain acquiring that new taste.
Right.
And it's not easy. Every meal that you want to do, that you want to change, you have to force yourself to actually commit 4 to 6 weeks, and it will happen. It will happen. Guarantee that it will happen. You will be back on a good, healthy eating habit. And then when you indulge into that bad habit, nothing happens. And it's just the greatest feeling. Try it.
Yeah. Pasta eaters, we might be used to having a plate of pasta, and then when you try the zucchini noodle the first time, you might be like, well, it's not like what I remember, and then you can just kind of appreciate it for what it was, and then we start gravitating to more foods that are lighter and healthier for us. So
easy over time, correct? Slow over time. Make little adjustments throughout our life. I didn't adjust right away. I did not make my drastic change on eating habits overnight. It just eliminating what was wrong for me. Slowly over time, guess what? Once you're diabetic, you will always be diabetic. So it's like it doesn't turn back. No matter what you do, you will continue. So do yourself a favor. Tweak it. Tweak your meals little at a time until you find that right balance that will work for you, because each one of us are totally different. So what is it that will work for you? And then you'll be as healthy as a clam. As a clam? No.
As a shrimp.
I'm sorry, my wife said, honey, you always butcher the cliches. So I'm sorry. think.
No questions for tonight's session? All right.
Okay.
Well, we want to introduce our next one, so we want to say good night, but I also want to make sure you join us for our next Sweet Life Cooking Demo, October 18th. It's called Holiday Harvest, and the theme there is blood sugar-friendly comfort foods, focusing on seasonal fall flavors. So please be sure to join us in October.
Absolutely.
Have a great evening, everyone.
Good night.